Do what he be doers of the word, not just hearers of the word. All right, as for titles for today's video, I'm thinking either Frothing Madness has been successfully normalized in the 21st century, or Wanton Madness, the new normal, or how about the mad science of neo-tyranny, or maybe just silent but deadly collusion. Yeah, I encourage everyone to read the Bible for yourself, and particularly the New Testament. You might start in the book of John. I've heard a lot of people saying it's probably a great book. But you get the red letter edition, then you'll know exactly what Jesus is teaching. But I had a friend way back in the 80s, good friend of mine, good surfing buddy. We went to surfing in Baja, California. We had a lot of fun together. Barry Gregory, he got into the Bible first and told me to read it. And, I sure wish I had listened to advice right away, but it took me a while, but I did eventually, and I said, you know what, I like this. You don't listen to what anybody says. Okay, there's a lot of naysayers out there. Read it for yourself. You make your own deduction of what's written. But I think it's great stuff. The old and the new is good to read all of it, so you know what's going on. I mean, you look at King David. People that believe in capital punishment. Oh my God, if anybody did something that was premeditated, malice aforethought. It's what King David did to, what was it, the guy he killed, Bathsheba's husband, Uriah the Hittite. Okay, he cooked up a scheme because he was king, and he put him on the front lines because he fell in love with Bathsheba, and she got pregnant with his baby. And oh my God, can you imagine? I mean, definitely you would have given King David the electric chair, or the injection, or bullet through the head for sure. So I mean, all you people that believe in capital punishment, you call yourselves Christians, maybe some Jews in there, Muslims. You know what? You need to wonder about that. But King David was very sorrow. His conscience was cut to the quick, and that's why he gained favor again in God's eyes. But he kind of confessed his horrendous sin. But first-degree murder to the max is what he did. So just remember that about King David and premeditated murder, first-degree murder, malice aforethought, the whole beeswax. And also, another good reason to read the Bible, if you learn how many people were ruthlessly murdered to keep this information. That's what the book is: information, education, knowledge, wisdom, power. Okay, died. Do you understand? If the people today, the millennials and all the Generation Z and X, whatever, all of them could understand, how controversial that book was back in the day. That the priests of the day, they didn't want people knowing. You didn't need to go to them and give them your tithe. You could go to anybody. You could give your tithe to somebody out on the street. That's fine. Okay, you pay your tithe any way God puts on your heart, whatever is right in your eyes between you and God. Nobody could tell you what to do. They didn't like that. They didn't like their authority being taken from them. That's what the Bible did. So they were going out there, the Roman Catholics or the henchmen, they were the executioners and all this. You got a Bible in your house, you're dead. That was a mortal sin. Okay, it's a way these people that call themselves capitalists, like the Rockefellers and stuff. Hey, you know what? Capitalism is a sin. Okay, they don't want that. Competition. No, competition is a sin. That was a motto. I believe it was the Rockefeller motto. But it was the same way. These are authoritarians, totalitarians, draconian power freaks, man. Money lovers. You understand? So that's, those are the people that don't want you to read the Bible. Now do you want to read it? And understand, why was this so controversial? Find out for yourself why they hated Jesus and seethed with hatred. Wanted him, murder him. They would have strangled him with their bare hands if they could. Sometimes he just mysteriously just walked right out of their grasp, like he could become invisible almost. But he had that power. He didn't have a biological dad. He only had the father was his only dad. So it was a very cosmic situation with Jesus, a very special being. But anyhow, we got some flunky clown in politics, a legislator or some damn thing. This guy wants to make people vote. If you're registered to vote by law, so they're going to arrest people or they're going to cite people that don't vote. You see how draconian we're headed the way as China or something? This is crazy. That guy, I'd like, you know what? I tell you what. I'm not a violent man, but there are certain guys I would like to challenge to a match in the boxing ring. I really would. I really would. And you're one of them, Bubba. I don't like you. Do you understand? I love you. I love everybody. But there's a lot of people I don't like, and I don't like evil, draconian people. And you're one of them. God help us. If the voters of California say, yes, let's make people vote, God help us. I mean, that's it, man. That's the end of days is here, man. If they do that, that's crazy. I mean, I should have known that with the vaccination, forcing people to get vaccinated. Their kids can't go to school unless they get vaccinated. That's crazy, man. You know, all these people that oppose a UBI, a universal basic income, yet so many of these people that, they don't feed the squirrels in the park sort of thing, and don't give away money. I mean, how liberal bleeding hearts, oh my God. Free this, free that, socialism, communist. You know, and these are the first ones that will amass some fortune, right? And they leave it all to their kids who didn't lift a damn finger for that fortune. I don't like you. I don't like you kind either. And even Tim Allen, you got an attitude about this. I don't like it, the stuff that I know I watch your comedy, Last Man Standing. I think you're a funny guy. I think we could be friends, but I'm going to change your opinion on some issues, Bubba. You know, and everybody, I'm a fiscal conservative. Okay, don't try to tell me otherwise. I know my stuff. I know enough about my philosophy and economics to know I'm a conservative. Everybody needs to have a lower cost of living. That means lower taxes, yes. Save that $50 billion a year. Take it out right now. No more $50 billion a year to subsidize housing costs for poor people. It's just making the problem of homelessness worse and unaffordable housing worse. And all that money's going in the pockets of fat cats causing the homelessness. It's evil. Don't call me a bleeding heart liberal because I say, just buy people houses for God's sake. Idiots. Stop being idiots is all I'm saying. You know, recycling, they're really cracking down on recycling since the Chinese stopped taking our crap. You know, they want everything cleaned, and they give you a whole thing, picture thing, a real expensive flyer. Don't put this in, don't put that in. I mean, scrap metal. I mean, what is a can? Is scrap metal? They won't take scrap metal. What are people supposed to save up this stuff, throw it in the garbage? People want to be ecological. They want to recycle everything. It's only normal. We want to take care of the earth, facilitate it, make it easier for it, but they're making it harder and harder and harder. God, I mean, make everything. I mean, make a law. All the packaging has to be completely either biodegradable or 100% recyclable. End of story. Put liners and stuff. People, I don't want to clean out a peanut butter jar. That's hard. I don't want to clean out a mayonnaise jar. That's hard. Well, make it with a liner so that it can be just discarded, and the liner is biodegradable 100%. Come on, man. There's a solution to all problems. I always say, look, if there's a problem, there's a solution. Think. Use your God-given imagination. Ask God, and you will find solutions. I mean, it'll turn you into an innovator, a designer, an inventor. It's beautiful. It's fun. It's one of my favorite pastimes. I love solving problems, and there are solutions to every problem. This problem with dirty fuel and pollution and all this stuff, and global warming, climate change, carbon footprint. Listen, I'm against all that bad stuff. That I don't want to hurt the earth, but we've got to inject into that conversation chemtrailing, weather modification programs, disruptive technology, disruptive to the profits of the oil companies, like on demand hydrogen. Okay. Yeah, they don't want that. They don't want that kind of technology. They buy that technology and shelf it. So it's unavailable. You know how many groups and individuals despise the idea of getting rid of all the prisons and just having ethics rehabilitation centers? That'd be like pouring holy water over these people. They don't want to they don't want to be honest. They don't want to value soul, integrity. That's what's given them an advantage. That's how evil men have had an advantage over the righteous men. Do you understand how they have an advantage? I mean, if you want to call it an advantage, not at the end of the day, not on Judgment Day, the day of reckoning, when they stand before God and give account for their belief system, for their actions, their thoughts, words, and deeds. Oh, I mean, where are you going to go from here? We should all care about where we go from here. So they're not, the smart people care about conscience. Okay, believe me. And you have boundaries. There's a whole slew of things you wouldn't do for any amount of money, and that's beautiful. Thank God every day for that. Cherish those things in your heart. That's beautiful. That's a godly instinct you have. Thank God for it. They're giving Roger Stone a hard time. Trump's trying to get him. Hey, you know what? They're picking on him. Overzealous prosecution, definitely. That fits the bill. That's what that was. I mean, what the hell happened to Hillary Clinton getting prosecuted for what she did with that freaking getting rid of her Blackberries and her hard drives and her emails, all that crap, man? Responsible for giving Benghazi, Libya to the terrorist factions? Oh my God! Oh my! And what people vaunt Obama? Poverty greatly increased under Obama's reign of tyranny. The wealth imbalance greatly increased. And what are we going to vaunt him? Because what? No reason. I'm the most anti-racist person you could meet. I love Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But the Obama, I don't like him at all. I can't stand it. It makes me want to throw up. I love him. Just like I love everybody. I'm not my worst enemy's best friend. That's the guy I choose to be, and you can choose to be. Put you in an epics rehab. I'll show you what's wrong, Obama, with pushing for that bailout of '08. I'll show you what's wrong. Poverty increased, wealth imbalance increased. Police assassinations are up dramatically, I hear. It's horrible. It's a symptom of the disease we've all been inflicted with from on high. I think cops, they're good, decent people. Most of them are very intelligent people. And they would like peace on earth, law and order. We need rules that everybody follows. But they're getting the brunt of the pain in society from what's being caused from on high. So I feel sorry for them. I really do. It really sucks. Biden's dropping out of the race. That's good. You know, whenever I hear the word dollar, I watch the news a lot, watch TV, and you hear it throughout the day. And you know what? Immediately, I start barking like a trained seal, asking for a fish. It's funny. I mean, listen to how many times throughout the day on the TV, wherever else, you hear that term dollar, 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 and I'm like, arr, 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 arr. Yeah, I mean, it's just so crazy that this is what runs our world, is making money, paying bills, being on this hamster wheel that just gets harder and harder for the people at the bottom rung of the ladder. And if they're smart, they'll get off it, man. Whatever that means, however possibly they can, do their best to try to get off that hamster wheel, get their cost of living down, get the level of tyranny they're having to experience down. The mainstream media is always reporting it. Everybody's probably heard high housing prices. Housing prices are going higher. Values, they call it. Housing values are going up. Why don't they pull that with gasoline? When gasoline starts soaring, they get all excited, say, bright-eyed, hey, this is fantastic. Gasoline values are up. You get what I'm saying? I mean, madness is rife throughout our society. They don't pull that because people, what the hell? What are you talking about? Housing, gasoline values. But that's what they're saying. Essentially, it's the same thing. Housing costs are up. Housing burdens are up. Rents are going up. And that's a good thing, they tell you, because that's the value. Sick and twisted, man. The novel coronavirus is getting pretty serious, at least in China it is. And I would tell everybody, and the Chinese too, take cod liver oil. Do what you can, okay, to protect yourself, because death sucks, and I don't wish it upon anybody. And I know it's just death of the body, nevertheless. Okay, I believe in longevity. If you're enjoying your life, you're a nice human being, why not live a long, healthy life? Men and women are different. Our brains work differently, and that's a scientific fact. It's kind of like when a guy gets into a car, a lot of guys at least that are knowledgeable, most guys understand the internal combustion engine. But I think it's fair to say, at least generally speaking, that a lot of women don't know, and they don't want to know the workings, how an internal combustion engine works, just the fundamentals. But most guys do. So when you jump into a car, you embody it, and then you take over controlling it. The guy's thinking about the fluids, this and that, the next thing. And And often women are just thinking, hey, I'm starting the car and I'm going to the mall. And, our brains work differently, and that's just the way it is. So that's why guys end up with these jobs. And it's pretty much the natural order of things that guys do the dirty, hard jobs. It's kind of what we want to do, because we certainly don't want the ladies dirtying up their pretty and scratching up their pretty little fingers, right? Now I'm going to get into briefly an issue that I'm very uncomfortable talking about, and that is sexuality. But we are sexual beings. Who can admit that we aren't? We've all enjoyed our